Hey folks, welcome to the next class in the series of Basics to Advance, the topic Profit and Loss. So, done a lot of questions and discussions about the theory part, solved a few questions. Now it's high time we probably shift to PYQs and then have a crack at them and see what type of questions come in the paper and what we should be prepared for. So, without any further ado, let's get to the class and then solve it. So, I'm going to keep the template the same. So, I'm going to move aside, give you a second to take a screenshot of it, and then we discuss. Look at the first question here. Geeta sells two objects A and B at the same price such that she makes a profit of 20% on object A and a loss of 10% on object B. If she increases the selling price such that objects A and B are still sold at an equal price and a profit of 10% is made on object B, then the profit made on object A will be nearest to. We'll have to find an approximate value here. Beautiful question here. If you look at the fact, Geeta sells two objects A and B at the same price. So selling price of A and the selling price of B, both of them are same. But the condition is that 20% profit on A and 10% profit on B. So if I take the cost price of CP of A and B, so let's say A and B itself, 20% profit on A will be 1.2A, 1.2 times 20% more. 10% loss on B will be 90% of the value, which will be 0.9. And by data, we know that the selling prices are equal. So from here, I can write this as 12A is equal to 9B or 4A equals to 3B. Or from here, we can say A is to B is equal to 3 is to, which means the cost price of A is 3x, the cost price of B is 4x. We have this data now, so this will be the cost price on both occasions. But now the condition says if she increases the selling price such that object A and object B are still sold at an equal price. So despite that the change in the if clause, they will still be sold at the same selling price, which is a different selling price, but the prices will be same. And a profit of 10% is made on object B. So object B is sold at a 10% profit. So that means if 3x is A, B is 4x, a 10% profit is made, which means this will be 4.4x. But I also know that both of them will be sold at the same selling price. So this will also be sold at 4.4x. Then the profit made on object A will be nearest to 2. So a product that costs at 3x is sold at 4.4x. So the profit is 1.4x, or profit percentage will be 1.4x divided by 3x into 100. So this can be written as 140 by 3, which is 46.67%. I have to go to the closest option B. Now you can do this with variables or plug in values. You can take the selling prices. You are looking at a number that is 20% more and then 10% less. So it should be divisible by 1.2 and 0.9. A multiple of 12 and 9, you can take something like 108. Selling price is 108 and 108. You can see here A, B. Cost price we don't know. Selling price 108 and 108. But this will be 20% more. So this will be 90 rupees. 90, 20% is 18, 108. This is 10% less, 120. You can do it this way, and from here the new selling price will be 10% more, which will be 132. 132 here. So 90 is sold at 132, and you can still do the same math. It will work. Here this 42 rupees profit from 90 into 100. If you look closely, divided by 3, we'll get 14 by 3. Same idea. You can work around this and that will still be your answer. So the decision to choose variables or numbers depends on what level of comfort you have with either of them. So learn both, stick to one. Right. We'll move on to the next question. As usual, I'll step aside for a sec. And here we solve. Amal buys 110 kg of syrup and 120 kg of juice. Syrup being 20% less costly than juice per kg. He sells 10 kg of syrup at 10% profit and 20 kg of juice at 20% profit. Mixing the remaining juice and syrup, Amal sells the mixture at 308.32 per kg, makes an overall profit of 64%. Then Amal's cost price for syrup rupees per kg is what? So Amal buys syrup and then juice. He buys 110 kg of syrup, 120 kg of juice. Weird way to measure our juice, but still okay. Syrup being 20% less costly than juice. So I'm also taking the cost price. I'm going to call this X. This will become 0.8x now. So total cost price will be 110 into 0.8. This will be 88x. This will be 120x. So the total cost price will be 208x. The total cost price for both of them will be 208x. We'll keep it aside for some time now. We'll jump to the next part. So what he does is, he sells 10 kg of the syrup at 10% profit, 20 kg of juice at 20% profit. 10 kg of syrup. So selling price of 10 kg syrup will be 10 kg into the cost price is 0.8x. But it is sold at a 10% profit. So into 1.1. So this will become 11. 11 into 0.8 will be 8.8x. Similarly, selling price of 20 kg juice will be 20 kgs into cost price per kg is x rupees. So into x, and a profit of 20% is made into 1.2. So 20 into 1.2 will become 24x. And the remaining mixture, remaining juice and syrup is sold at 308.32 for the mixture per kg, which means the remaining 200 kg is sold at 308.32. So total selling price will be 308.32 into 200 plus this, and this will also be our selling prices. So 24 plus 8.8 will be 32.8x. It is said that this is my total selling price. The overall profit is 64% on my total cost price. My total cost price is 208x. So this will effectively be equal to 164 by 100 into, or I can straight away write it as 1.64. 1.64 into 208x, or 208 into 1.64, 200 into 164 is 328. 1.64 into 200 is 328. 1.64 into 8, that will be 8, and then I will have 4.8, 0.6, 0.32. So this will be 2, 1, carry over 1, 16, 20, 21, 241. 341.12. So this will be 341.12x minus 32.8x is equal to 200 into 308.32. Keeping it as it is, hoping that something will get cancelled, else I'd have multiplied it straight away. We'll wait and see. 341 minus 32 is 309. 309 minus 1.12 minus 0.8. This is also 308.32x is equal to 308.32 into 200. So this gets cancelled as it is. X is equal to 200. Lengthy calculation, definitely doable. Pull out a calculators to do your math. It'll get a lot easier. I think we haven't solved the question yet. Amal's cost price for syrup is asked. Syrup cost is 0.8x. So 0.8 times syrup will be 200 into 0.8, 160, and that will be our answer. So such a nice question, a lengthy one, but definitely there on the cards for us to pick and solve for it. Right? Hop on to the next question. Step aside. And now let's do this. Amal purchases some pens at rupees 8 each. To sell these, he hires an employee at a fixed wage. So there are two cost prices here. One, the cost price of buying the pens, and then the employee who is going to sell it. He has a fixed wage. That will also be his cost price. He sells 100 of these pens at 12 rupees each. If the remaining pens are sold at 11 each, then he makes a net profit of 300. The total profit will be 300. While he makes a net loss of 300 if the remaining pens are sold at 9 rupees each. The wage of the employee in rupees is. So I'm looking at it to solve it in two ways. One, the obvious conventional equations where you find total cost price and total selling price. So let's say number of pens sold, number of pens bought will be X. Cost price per pen is equal to 8. So total cost price be 8x. That's my total cost price. So what did he do? Selling price, there are two different conditions. According to my first condition, selling price, let me call it 1. There's an if clause, so we'll have to check for it. I'll call it selling price 2. So selling price 1, let me save some space here. Total selling price for the first one will be we have 100 pens sold at 12 rupees each. So 100 pens sold at 12 rupees each plus remaining pens at 11 rupees each. Remaining pens at 11 rupees each. So x minus 100 into 11. This will be my total selling price. My total cost price will be 8x plus E. That E, I'm going to call it my expenses for the employee, the wages for the employee. So my profit is 300. From here I can say net profit 1. Again, from the first case will be this value minus, or profit one, I'll straight away write it here. Profit, this value minus of 8x plus E is equal to 300. So solving for this equation, you will get 1200 plus 11x minus 1100 minus 8x minus E is equal to 300. So 1200 minus 100, 1100 is 100, goes over there, becomes minus 100. So this will be 200. 11x minus 8x is 3x minus E is equal to 200. So profit case 2 will be same scenario. First 100 pence for 12, but the remaining x minus 100 pence sold for 9 rupees each. So this into 9, once again minus 8x minus e is equal to net profit is a loss of 300. So I'm going to call it minus 300. Right. So 1200 minus 900 is 300. But the 300 goes over there, becomes minus 300. So this will be minus 600. 9x minus 8x is x. So this will be x minus e is equal to minus 600. So we'll solve for these two equations now. This equation 1, this can solve for these two equations. So you'll get 3x minus e is equal to 200. X minus e is equal to minus 600. So minus plus plus 2x is equal to 800 or x is equal to 400. But I don't want x. I want wage of the employee, which is e. So here 400 minus e is equal to minus 600 or e is equal to 1000. So the wage of the employee is 1000 rupees. This is your conventional way of doing it. If you think about it, I noticed that the first 100 pence are gone. So let's think about that 100 pence later. 100 pence sold at 12 rupees. In both cases, that doesn't give you any change. But the remaining pence sold at 11 rupees. From 11 rupees, if you sell it at 9 rupees, that means each pen is sold 2 rupees less. Each pen is sold 2 rupees less. And what is the result there? From a profit of 300, it has come to a loss of 300, which means the offset is 600. From plus 300, it has come to minus 300, which means it is that offset is 600 rupees loss. If you sell one pen for 2 rupees less, that's 2 rupees less. From 11 to 9, that's 2 rupees. You do it for 2 pence, that's 4 rupees. You do it for 3 pence, that's 6 rupees. You have done for some number of pence, your difference has dipped by 600. So I can clearly tell you, initially 100 pence were sold. And the offsetting, from that offset part, I have figured out another 300 pence. So total 400 pence have been bought. Total 400 pence have been bought. And 400 pence will be bought at cost price. Now this is the logical way of looking at this. So cost price will be 400 into 8, that will be 3200. That's my cost price. But then there is also an employee cost here, right? It's an employee cost. So in this case, notice this, in this case, we understand the fact that from 100 rupees, the total cost will be the remaining, this 100 into 12 plus remaining 300 pence are there. I notice that there will be 300 pence and all 300 pence will be sold at 11 rupees. So that will be plus 300 into 11. So this will give me 1200 plus 3300. It's 4500 rupees. That's my total selling price, total revenue. But out of which my profit is only 300. Profit is equal to 300. That means my cost price should have been 4200 only. I am selling it at 4500, but then I'm saying your profit is only 300. Which means your cost price should be 4200 rupees. But I know 400 pence cost me only 3200. How did I go to 4200? That 1000 is your employee cost. Another way to look at this question beautifully falls in with your logic, but then feel free to stick to this because this is also an easy way to solve the question, right? At some point, think about solving the question with some intuition. The intuition part is the key to unlock a lot of questions at a faster pace, right? So hop on to the next question now. Once again, I'll step aside. And here we solve. A person spent rupees 50,000 to purchase a desktop computer and a laptop computer. He sold the desktop at a 20% profit and the laptop at a 10% loss. If he overall he made a profit of 2%, then the purchase price in rupees of the desktop is, they're asking the cost price of desktop. Simple question with equations. Desktop plus laptop is equal to 50,000. 20% profit on the desktop, which is 0.2D. That's a 10% loss. That's a 10% loss minus 0.1L is equal to, it's a 2% profit on the overall cost. 1% is 500, 2% is 1000. You can also write this equation as D plus L is equal to 50,000. 20% on the desktop is 1.2 desktop. 10% loss is 90% of the laptop plus 0.9L is equal to 51,000. This will be on a selling price part. I've written this equation on a selling price basis. Here I've written it at the basis of your profit. Both ways you will get the same answer. So I'm going to multiply this equation by 10. So you'll get 2D minus L is equal to 10,000. D plus L is equal to 50,000. So solve for the equations. 3D is equal to 60,000 or D is equal to 20,000. The question is asking for desktop. So that should be your answer. Easy peasy. Simple questions. These are questions that will make you feel like, hey, probably after all, it's not that tough. Sometimes you get such a basic question that will make you feel good that your preparation is on the right track. You have sweat a lot for the tougher ones and you are paying it off by solving some easy ones in the paper, right? We'll move on to one last question for the day. And here we solve. Gopy marks a price on a product in order to make 20% profit. So he's trying to mark it up and then give a 20% profit on it. Get a 20% profit. Ravi gets 10% discount on this marked price and thus saves rupees 15. Then the profit in rupees made by Gopy by selling the product to Ravi is. So to make it a little easy, I'm going to say the cost price is 100x. Cost price is 100x. Now Gopy is marking it up by 20%. So it will be 120x here. But then Ravi gets a 10% discount on the marked price. So from here, he gets a 10% discount. That will be his selling price. Now 10% discount on 120x will be 12x. So it means 108x. It's a 10% decrease. It is also mentioned that Ravi saves 10% by getting this discount. Or I can tell you that this 12x was reduced by 15 or 12x is equal to 50. So he got a discount of 12x. He saved rupees 15 or 12x is that 15 rupees or x is equal to 15 by 12, 5 by 4, which is 1.25. So my cost price is 100x and x is 1.25. So actual cost price will be 125. He's marking it up by 20%. So from here a 20% markup, 1/5 of 125 is 25. So he marks it up to 150 rupees and then gets a discount of 10%, Ravi, which means he's selling it at 135. So the profit in rupees made by Gopi, buy it for 125, sell it for 135. That's a 10 rupees profit. Answer option B. Another nice and elegant question. These are questions once again make you feel good about your preparation. So hang on, get your basics right, learn how to write an equation, learn how to insert a variable. The moment you learn all of this when it comes to profit and loss, it is definitely a topic that you can crack in the test, right? So stop here. In case if you haven't joined the groups, take a screenshot of that, join the groups, and we will see in the next topic. Best wishes.